The recycler is coming to LEGO Fortnite Odyssey, and I have the perfect way to prepare. This new workstation is going to allow you to break down old charms and weapons into resources that you can then reuse on March 25th. So I got to thinking, what are the best ways to get weapons that we don't actually have to use any materials on ourselves? Let's start off with building our very own workstation for the recycler before it drops. Not a very good builder, but I would say that this came out all right. Now, the thought process behind this is I can put down the recycler in between all four of these chests, because what I need inside of all of these chests is going to be spare weapons that I've either picked up or found along my journey while playing this game mode. Now, I have so many of these, and if we're truly able to throw these into a recycler and get some of the items back in return, I should be absolutely stacked on so many gems and ores that I'll never really need to go out and get any more. So let's start preparing for this update. We're going to need as many treasure maps as we possibly can get to use that duplication glitch as much as possible. On top of that, I'm going to bring a crossbow and as many arrows as I have. That way I can go around fighting and get even more weapons. And every single time I upload about this duplication glitch, I get the question about how to get treasure maps. And I find the fastest way to do this is going to be feeding Klombo Klomberries. You're going to need a ton of these in order to get lucky enough to get yourself a treasure map, but more times than not, he will give you one after you feed him them Klomberries. While we're on Lost Isles, we need to do a little bit of exploring because there's some weapons that we can get while we're on this island. The first thing that you want to do is search around and find some of the prefab builds that are around here, because typically that means that there's enemies nearby that have muskets and other weapons. Now, when it comes to fighting these enemies, there's two things that you'll get from them. Number one, you'll get yourself those weapons that you can then throw into the recycler when it comes out. But number two, you can also get lucky and find yourself a treasure map from them. Now, it's also very rare to get treasure maps from these players, but you will get both a weapon and a treasure map every once in a while, which does make it worth fighting. I didn't do it during this video, but you can also try to fish them in any of the bodies of water on the Lost Isles, and you can get lucky enough to find yourself a treasure map over here. And before we get to the duplication glitch, which I'm sure a lot of you guys are already aware of, we need to be clearing out dungeons in order to get weapons as well. Whenever you clear out a level of the dungeon, it gives you a nice big gold chest, and typically inside of that chest will contain some sort of pickaxe, axe, or sword, or just a type of weapon that is made out of gems, which is always nice to have, because if the recycler works the way that we think that it will, we're going to be able to get ourselves a ton of gems and materials in return. So we want to grab and collect anything that we can. That even includes shields, because I believe pretty much anything that can go into your workbench is actually going to work on the recycler. Now, the important thing when it comes to collecting all of these is taking a look at that crafting bench. When you look at the weapons, the gem shield, the knockback shield, the boom shield, you're going to see that some of these require brute scales, bear pelt, and so much more. And a lot of these materials that you would get back could definitely go into other items that maybe you'll get some real use out of, which is the entire point behind getting this recycler in here. You see that the boom shield is going to give you dynamite in return, and you'd never even needed to craft this yourself. If we're able to get grapplers or destroy old grapplers that don't have much durability left on them, we'll get ourselves some blast powder, and obviously putting anything else that is inside of here is going to give us massive returns on different things that we would just typically never use. Now, I personally have 3 different treasure maps, and they work in all 3 biomes. Now, this is important for a few different reasons, but you could see that one of my treasure maps works perfect and will get myself some materials inside of the grasslands. Another one will do it inside of the dry valley, and my third one will do it inside of the snow biome. The reason why I have these is just because of the rarity of items that we're going to be getting in return while working in these areas. I find that by far the best place to open up any type of treasure map and doing this duplication glitch is going to be the grasslands, because that is where you're going to get the most amount of weapons from. This is more so maybe just luck on my end, but I always find that I'm getting these weapons while doing it in the grasslands. grasslands. When I go to the dry valley or when I go to the frostlands, you're going to see that I definitely get less weapons. Now, the way that you do this duplication glitch is you put a treasure map into your offhand, you press your dig button with a shovel, and then very quickly pull up your inventory and drop that map again. This is going to ensure that you keep that same treasure map while opening up the same chest over and over again, essentially duplicating that treasure chest as many times as you want. Now, doing the duplication glitch isn't the easiest of things. It does take a little bit of practice. You see here that I completely messed up while trying to do it. I was able to get my spear out of it and some materials, but I wasn't able to keep that treasure map, so it's always good to have more than one. Now, the snow biome is probably the best as far as getting materials, but the worst as far as getting any type of weapon. I find that this is probably the most inconsistent spot for me. So I could still do the glitch here, which is nice. I'm going to get Frostland type of materials here, but you see the only actual weapon I have is the one that I got when I was inside of the dry valley. That's going to be that sapphire spear. Outside of that, I could go 2, 3, or even 4 times in a row while using this treasure map glitch and not get one of the weapons that I need from this hole here. So it's not the greatest when it comes to it inside of this biome. I definitely recommend doing it inside of the grasslands, but for now, if you need any of these other materials, it's still a really nice glitch to use. I almost forgot to mention this, but if you didn't know, these also work for charms. So if you're somebody that has old charms from when you first started your world and then eventually expanded to never having to use these old charms, they're still going to work. If you collected the Star Wars Island weapons just from defeating enemies over there, that's also going to give you a ton of materials back. And a few updates back, there was a really nice duplication glitch that allowed us to duplicate any weapon that we wanted or any tool that we wanted without using any type of material. And with that, now we have so many extras that we could then turn them into materials and essentially get all of this stuff completely free. I think that this recycler is going to be a great update and change that was added into the game. Obviously, I wish we would have gotten it a little bit sooner because there's so many items that I've just thrown away. Now knowing we have the recycler, I'm never releasing or dropping anything from my inventory that I know that I could just throw into there and get some extra materials. Let me know what you guys are going to be doing to prepare for this update. I hope that this video helps you all out. Don't forget to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. And as always, guys, this was Crafty, and I'm out. Peace. Help me reach 50,000 subscribers by pressing that sub button in the top right. And if you guys haven't already, check out that video in the top left. YouTube thinks that you'll like it a lot. Peace.